Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutterby, heidi.co.uk, and back again with another of my bird banter projects. And this is a week of showcasing this cute little stamp set, and it has these lovely images of birds and a balloon, really kind of fun sort of tropical birds with toucans and budgies, and then some great little sentiments which are a little bit tongue-in-cheek, a bit of fun. So it's like a little birdie told me it was your birthday. Obviously it wasn't an early bird, so depending on if you're a little late with cards, which would you believe I tend to be. You're the kind of friend I'd share my branch with, and a lovely branch, so obviously you can tie the birds in there. Just some great little images in there which I think are a lot of fun. And this is the card, so again it's quite sort of a quick and easy card, a little bit of colouring, a little bit of stamping, and some self-adhesive sequins on there as well. I've changed the colour up. After I'd done this one I decided that really Berry Burst would be a better colour match than the Rich Raspberry, so I've got that out because it matches better with these sequins, but I'm sticking with the Lemon Lime Twist paper because I think that's just great. It's a lovely colour. So that paper actually comes from the Tutti Frutti one, so I've used that quite a lot this week. So this is the paper that has sort of some kind of fruity images on the one side, some lovely ones there. And then on the other side has some more sort of generic patterns which could be used for all sorts of occasions. But it's great because it's lovely primary colours, but a real range of colours as well, so you could use it for all sorts of occasions, whatever your choice. So to make the card, the first thing you're going to need is a half sheet of coloured cardstock. And obviously I'm using the Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm going to cut this to 11.5 inches or 29 centimetres, and then it's going to be cut just in half at 4 1/8 or 10.5 centimetres. And once you've done that, you're going to score it at 5 3/4 inches, and that's 14.5 centimetres, and that's going to make our card base out of Lemon Lime Twist. You're then going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White card, and these are cut exactly the same, so they're cut at 10 centimetres or 3 7/8 by 5 1/2 inches or 14 centimetres, and you want 2 of those, and I've cut those already. Then you're going to cut your piece of Lemon Lime Twist paper, and you're going to cut this at 3 5/8 or 9 1/2 centimetres, and then you're going to cut it at 5 1/4 inches, and that will then layer onto your Whisper White card and give you a little border all the way around. The next thing you're going to do is cut 4 pieces of Lemon Lime Twist cardstock, and these are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 or 4.5 by 4.5, so 4 of those. And then you're going to cut 4 pieces of Whisper White, and those are 1 1/2 inches or 4 centimetres. So once you've done all the cutting, that's the most difficult bit, we can start doing some creating. So first thing we can do is actually layer our designer series paper onto our Whisper White, and then pop that onto the card base. And if you ever, I've just noticed I've got a bit of a rough edge on one side of that, and I always keep a nail file handy, and you can literally just go along with a standard nail file and just neaten that up. I probably should have done the DSP as well. Looks like my blade needs changing. So literally, but you can go along and that'll just neaten that up nicely for you. And once you've done that, you can stick that onto the front of your card. So pop that on there, like so. I'm going to leave the piece to the inside because we're going to do some stamping in a minute. With your 4 pieces of Lemon Lime Twist, just use a corner rounder and just use that on 2 of the opposite corners. to create this little shape. And there we go, like so. And those are going to go onto our card, like so. So now we're ready to do our stamping on these various shapes. So the one has just got a piece of designer series paper on it. So you're going to cut a square. You haven't quite finished cutting. 1 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. Just again, do exactly the same on that one, just corner around it. It's definitely time for a change of blade. And that can go straight on to this square here. And that can be layered onto the first of our panels, like so. Okay, so that's the first of our panels done. The next one, so I'm going to do the bottom corner here. So I'm going to use my Lemon Lime Twist ink pad, and I've got the thank you from the stamp set, and I'm just going to pop that in the middle there. And that's where it's helpful to have the grid lines either side. I ought to have my stamping pierce mat underneath. Making a real mess of this. There we go. Okay, and obviously being photopolymer, that one that I've misstamped, I'm just going to take it off camera and just stamp over it slightly, hopefully. There we go, get that lined up. Okay, and once you've done that, you can choose to colour those leaves in or not. As it's about quick cards, I'm just going to pop that on there. That's our second one. Our third one is probably the one that takes most time. And what I've done is I've taken the 2 flowers from the stamp set, and I'm going to go round and stamp those in Memento black ink, which I've got here, and I've mounted them on a single block together. This is to speed it up, and so I'm literally just going to come in and try not to get my inky finger, which I have done there. Hopefully we'll try covering that up. And pop it. Like so. It's always more difficult doing it on camera than it is without. Right, and then I'm going to come in and just colour the background with Lemon Lime Twist. So in effect we're sort of almost creating our own DSP here. I'm going to try and sort of keep it smooth so I don't go over the same areas, so we don't get too much over colouring and shading. I'm literally just colouring that in as we go along. I'm using the brush tip because that gives us better coverage, you know, quicker coverage as well. So there we go. So once you've coloured that background in, then I can come in with my berry burst this time and just colour those flowers in. Now once you've coloured them in, the first time. You could go back and add some shading once it was dry, if you wanted to, or if you haven't got the markers but you've got the ink pad, then you could use a blender pen and have the flowers with a blender pen instead. So there we go, just a last few bits, you get the idea. This probably should have been a Blue Peter moment, shouldn't it? For those of you in the UK who know what I mean there, I perhaps should have had one I prepared earlier instead of colouring all this on live on video. But you know me, I do like to do it in one take to show you, how long it actually takes to create the card. I mean, I might do a little bit of cutting beforehand, but generally I do it on camera with you so that you can see how long it takes. Because then you can judge whether you've got that amount of time available to make that card, or whether you want to do something different. So there we go. And then our last panel is again using Memento Black, and I'm going to be stamping our little cockatoo. So give him a really good stamp. I am going to have my Stampin' Pierce mat here. Okay, and just pop that there. And then I'm actually going to use a blend pen here, just because it happens to be to hand, but you could just as easily use a marker. And just a little bit. That lovely cockatoo yellow comb that they have. Those feathers. And then that's the last panel. So pop that on, and then we're ready to assemble our card with some dimensionals. Okay, so this is why you don't do it live on camera, because it should have been like that. So in fact, I'm going to leave that to one side, and if I've got time, I will add it afterwards and cut another piece. So in the meantime, pop some dimensionals. This is one of those occasions when actually the mini dimensionals would be better, because actually I picked up the wrong ones. There you go, because you can put 4 of these little dimensionals on and 1 in the middle, so it's my usual rule, 1 in each corner and 1 to support it. In fact, you don't even need 1 to support it on this occasion. Just do it with 4 of those. So we could have the cockatoo lying down. I think it's probably not a good idea. So I'll add all the pieces in, and then we'll see how we go. So what I usually do is I just gently place those on when I'm doing something that's sort of geometric. You could measure it if you wanted to, but you know me. I'm just going to pop that. So literally just pop it. There we go. Just on the edges there. Piece in here, and then the last one in the bottom corner, and then as I said, we can have our cockatoo lying down if we want. Well, you get it warts and all with me. There we go. So there's our card. I need to find another little bit of Whisper White to redo my cockatoo. So I'll quickly cut a piece of card, and if you remember, that was 4 centimetres by 4 centimetres, or 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. This is where it'll all go horribly wrong. I'm a runner. No, I'm just about got enough time. One cockatoo, 1 blender pen, right, making sure you've got it in the right orientation. Okay, so on this one we're going to be rounding this corner. Watch me do this wrong for a second time. By this corner. And I've cut the card the wrong size now. I told you it was never going to work. It should have been 1.5 centimetres, of course, by 1.5 centimetres. Oh dear. Perhaps I ought to just give up now. So I'm literally just going to trim that down. In fact, oh well. Right, I'll start again. Right, we made our pieces 1 3/4, so this should be 1.5 inches. Right, quick. Right, 1.5 by 1.5. Yes, that's going to fit in there. Cockatoo. Oh well, I'll get a few thumbs downs on this, no doubt. Cockatoo stamped. Cockatoo coloured. Maybe it's 3rd time lucky. Beak as well. Corner round, the correct corner. Add some adhesive. And finally, you might actually have a card. So apologies, what chaos. I haven't added my sequins on, but hey, there we go. Let's add some on now. And if you want to buy anything, why would you? Come back and see me soon in my shop, heidismith.stampinup.net, or visit my blog, flutterbyheidi.co.uk. Thanks for bearing with me and watching me. It just goes wrong sometimes, but hey, you know, that's the way of crafting. At the end of the day, it's only a bit of paper and cardstock, and you can soon remedy it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.